evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Team Fortress TV. We're moving into week 2 now of season 40 of ETF2L, but we've actually got one final week 1 fixture left. It's going to be Ora Elektro versus Habibi la frappe de batard, who will henceforth be known as either Habibi or simply the Frenchies. I'm Dave. With me from down under is Cole, bringing you the pictures. And from closer to home, we've got some incisive analysis and potentially some scathing critique as well from Josh. How are you today, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good. Looking forward to this game. Looking at it, it should be a close one, I think.
I mean, if it's anything like the preseason playoffs, then I don't agree with that statement. I'm hoping that the 2 weeks it's been since then, or potentially 3 weeks, the Frenchies will actually have practiced properly, and hopefully their Roma will actually know what to process mid as well, instead of just sort of being out into the choke and taking 1 billion damage and accomplishing nothing. But time will tell.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Ora Elektro, obviously, they did finish second last season, but I think if we go down this roster, it's slightly changed, so perhaps they won't have as high expectations this season. They've got Amma and Nevo, the scouts, AZN and Joe are the two soldiers, Eames on demo and Trum on medic. So quite a few changes, and I think losing Yeehaw is potentially the one I'd look at as being, someone it's going to be difficult to replace.
He has the big hit, and Amaraka's he's done seasons as demo, and his demo's always been pretty solid. I'd say but the thing is, when he plays demo, the team has to play around him. He's quite similar to Elikor style demo. Takes a lot of heals, but does 1 billion damage. And then on Pocket Soldier, he was always just sort of solid as Pocket Soldier, and he just sort of always tried to do what you needed him to do. But he was never flashy. He was never standout. He was never like a leader. He just sort of showed up. And then on Scouts, well, I've never seen a Scout before, but he plays a lot of French mixes, so I can only imagine he's had plenty of practice in amongst that French circle jerk to put some effort in. It won't be Yeehaw standard, but as long as he can hold his own against QB as long as he can hold his own against QB, then this game should go pretty swimmingly for him. Because I don't think there won't be many situations where he's going to take a 1v1 with Neo.
Yeah, certainly Neo obviously winning last season. He's going to be the big hitter probably for the Habibi side. If we go through those, we've got Neo, QB, the two scouts, Woe and Rons, supposedly the two soldiers, Alien on demo, and Patchouli on medic. So it's kind of a bit interesting situation with this French team where a lot of them played in that French roster from last season. But a few of them split off, and as you were saying last week, they don't really seem to have the out-and-out leadership figure you might expect, and I think it told at times during that kind of qualifier game.
I mean, if anything is going to change, they need to pick the problem. Rons is not really like a leader style pocket. Rons is similar to Amarok. He's the kind of guy who, if you tell him to go somewhere, he will do it. But he wouldn't be like the leader sort of person that you need to take over the game. Neo, arguably, if you were gonna go off past experience, Neo should probably be the one to be like that leader sort of role, due to the fact he's had such a lot of experience playing with Pappy. He's had numerous cups with him in the DreamHack Cups and the Essentials Cups. He's won a season of Prem with him as well. I mean, if he takes all that experience and applies it and just keeps a clear head, he should be the one to lead this team. I'm not saying he should do it by himself. But he's ideally your go-to man. And if he could co-lead it with someone like Alien, because Aliens also have plenty of experience at the tip-top level, then it shouldn't be too harsh of a team or too harsh of a setup for them. They should be able to make things work quite swimmingly.
Yeah, I mean they've definitely got a lot of experience, a lot of good players as well, and obviously Neo bringing some not only a lot of experience but coming in having won last season I think is a big boon for them. But yeah, I mean it's kind of strange. You kind of look at this roster, it looks a little bit like a kind of single mix pug swim kind of team from the Frenchies, which is kind of to be expected. These French players are used to just playing mixes, playing with all different players. Every couple of seasons they seem to swap a couple of players out here and there. So based on last week, we perhaps would expect Ora Elektro to be favourites here. But I've looked at a few of the scrim results, and it seems to be this French team is slowly improving as well.
I would like to think this Frenchy squads, if they can get 1 or 2 fast rounds, same as theirs. But if Aura take the first 2 rounds, they'll probably just sort of grind this out and take it slow. What Aura over the last couple of seasons have been sort of taking like a newer approach to the game. It's not been a complete polar switch with how they play, but compared to what they did probably like in the early season 30s to mid season 30s, that was very slow, very methodical, very boring TF2. Then sort of towards the latter stages, 37, 38, they have started changing their playstyle a bit. They're being a bit more proactive with the map. And it did show making grand finals last season. So I'm hoping that with Joe coming into the roster as well, like Joe was playing on a Nunya team that was very aggressive. Hopefully he can like bring some more aggression to this team as well.
Yeah, and we are going live here. It is the final week 1 game for season 40, Ora Elektro versus Habibi. We're going to be rolling out to the first mid here with this French roster is going to start off in the blue, and we're going to have Ora Elektro in the red. So as we move in, I see, firstly, both the scouts are trying to take the high ground. There's a lot of high ground control from the blue side here. The Frenchies mirroring each rotating through over the right side, and seeing QB drop down to the low. They're actually spinning around into a full circle, and Ron has got very, very weak. No frags so far. Quite a lot of damage traded. Ora Elektro, all their players have gone super, super low. Just Aim's taken heals, but he's been isolated. Several scouts running on him. 2 frags apiece, but they're actually going to back out there, having to back out into their opponent's sewer here, so it's slightly awkward. They're going to try to come back into this mid, take the fight. QB walking in, and the Ubers are coming in a bit. It's going to be a much, much later Uber from Ora, and the blue team are just going to have to try and run out as fast as they can.
That's a really well played from the Frenchies. Actually, they're going to get another pick, and they have 6 on 5 now. This mid doesn't have to be over if they can get like a good bust in on the flank now. The flank is completely free. QB's in for PC, perfectly timed. They trade 1 for wrongs, but they're going to be able to just slowly spam them out. Asian's got a nice bomb onto Patchouli, and he does get the trade flag. Pretty well played. They can still get the cap point though with the spawn advantage that they have, because red spawns are really slow on this second. Well, even though you have mid, but it's probably just going to turn into like an Aura retake, and then they'll be able to just slow the game down from there. But you do have 2 hiding in sewers as well at the minute, so these are the people to watch.
Oh, we see Joe fights one of them in sewers. He does go down, so Duo is still alive and kicking. He gets some damage out to Ames, goes down. Both of those flankers from sewer are cleaned up. We still have a chunky Uber advantage here for Trump, just coming up to 100%. So it's going to be an awful long time. Patchouli just slowly building, still only on 40%. So the red Aura players move into second. They're not going to be contested too much. Just Soldier coming in towards a bit of a fake bomb. He might be caught out here at the AZN, getting quite aggressive, and Nevo going to try and chase him down as well. Just about managed to get out there. No, he doesn't.
Really well
finds him.
And they got the gun as well. Oh, they've already taken the Uber into last. This is so good. Nevo started this push really well. He was taking the gun. Cap time's completely free. Nevo gets a free cap. Really well played aggression. Really good aggression from Aura.
Yeah,
it was all
sorts
of like a big follow-on from that mid. So the Frenchies took like the perfect mid fight retake to take, but Patchouli ended up in no man's land, pushing over to the right-hand side. Again, this happened a lot during the preseason or the Prem playoffs, where Neo and Patchouli just were not together. And no scout speed, AZN a free bomb. Now, and they lost a round. Next mid.
Yeah, moving on now, but the soldiers are there pretty quickly from the Frenchies side. The scouts getting quite aggressive on the high ground as well, but always seem to have parachuted them back. A lot of damage coming out from Eames, seems to be getting absolutely everything. One soldier goes in, but can't get damage down onto Eames, and Aura just dominated this mid-fight. A lot of players quite weak, but that is an absolute crunch. Eames dominating. Gets Rod, gets Alien Swelling Patchouli down. Well, they just have to keep Drum alive, and they're going to take QB out. Neo, the only survivor, I think he actually went down at the start of the mid-fight. So a complete crushing mid-fight there for Elektro.
The Blue Soldiers are definitely trying much more when it comes to the initial stage of the mid, but the problem is they're doing it like they're not splitting the map. They're not using the map to each other's advantage. Duo and Rons did fast rollout, landed in the exact same space, and it shared the same damage, and they lost the mid instantly because they both had to fall off the high ground. Mid was over as soon as that happened.
Yep, Uber now coming in from Ora Elektro. They get the gun down absolutely quickly, but neither actually dies to stickies on the point. Wasn't super aware of where they are. Ames is now running on them as well with the other scout hammer, but both scouts down no cap time. 2 soldiers in behind, but they have to deal with the heavy. Can they see the medic? No, he's hiding in spawn. So just the 1 soldier alive. Trum is going to try and run out of there. He is out super quick, but there's still 5 players alive, and it's a nice comfortable last hold there for the Frenchies.
Good hold, but Ora soldiers, 1 soldier needs to be a designated point clearer, because Nevo shouldn't be dying to those stickies. Like, the soldiers don't even have to be taking that aggressive as space while the Uber's going in. One soldier spans for 5 points clear. Now Ranzer's getting like a nice little position in, taking a lot of space early, just bullying them out slowly. Joe gets a free bomb onto Patchouli again, no scouts with him again! That's 2 times in 5 minutes that the Frenchies have just lost such a big advantage. Chom's already on 80%, they're just going to reset on second now, they're not going to give this second up, they will take this fight. This is like the really good fight to take as well, if they time it right.
There are 2 players down, but the Uber is coming up here for Ora Elektro. Ames has got really late and gets dropped from the Uber as well, so there's 3 players down here for Ora Elektro in the Uber with just 1 spawn, so they've got absolutely nothing down, just some damage down onto the scouts, and Drum and Nevo are going to have to run out of there. Aziena actually gets himself out as well, so it's a completely thrown away Uber, just because they wanted to stay there with the 2 players, but you can't afford to drop a player if that happens.
Situation was good. That was definitely the Uber to take. Ora made the right call, but didn't play the position of this situation right. Where when you're that close to an Uber in that situation, you need to be forward and not letting them have free space. And now the Frenchies take their own counter Uber in. Stickies are cleared off point straight away by Rons. The push is already looking good. Alien's done a lot of damage in this shot, but there's no scout getting the cap time. They're not going to get the... Oh, it's gone. No, it's not going to work now.
Yeah,
lots of damage coming out from Joe. Him and Izzy have absolutely crushed this last push. Really well played. See, that was like the same problem, but in a different angle, where they'd cleared the stickies on point, but no scout got on the point fast enough. Because Alien had that gun down, there was no reason the scout could not have gotten that point.
Yeah, they just couldn't quite get enough damage down onto Eames as well. He was able to just sticky up the point as they walked onto it. But now we're seeing a situation where it's 100% here for Ora Elektro. They're going to pop straight out. They don't manage to catch anyone other than QB. Maybe they'll get him, but he does find a health in that IT area. And actually, Eames overextends for it. Goes down to Dwo, so now 100% coming up from Patchouli in a great situation here for the Frenchies to retake second. They walk in cleanly, don't have to pop in. They see that Ora Elektro is scattered, so they're going to have 100% to push last here.
Oh, this is looking like all she wrote right now. Asian's left in no man's land. He doesn't even have a buff to block this push either. He's getting peppered down really quickly. That's an easy pick. Nice little trade frag from Nevo. Nice little bomb as well from Duo. Picks up Eames, really well played. Really good push. They don't even have to play the point here. They knew that Uberad was so big.
Yeah, beautifully done. Both the scouts just playing the beam to absolute perfection, keeping their demo alive as well.
It was questionable from Ora though. Like the push out, there was no attempt at gaining information. They just popped blindly, and it's as if they were expecting all the Frenchies to just be stacked up on point. And then Eames made a really questionable decision. He chased a flank into IT, and then just got traded instantly and got nothing out of it. Very, very questionable decisions, but still early in the map, so still time to recover.
Yeah, 1-1 now, even Stevens. We're seeing this time Ora getting a bit more position. Soldiers on the high ground. Eames just trying to get aggressive across the point, but he is found by Rod just dropping down onto his head. Patchouli having to back up, but there's so many players. But we see one scout is onto the medic. Nevo does find Patchouli, and he actually survived. Both the scouts have survived. It's on both sides, so it's 2v2 scout fest. But I've only seen 1 scout on this mid fight, so perhaps the other one is a spawner. Yeah, in fact, Neo is a spawner.
This mid will be over now. That mid was better from the Frenchies. They took it a bit more slow, they took better position, and they were able to pick up AZN like very, very quickly on the left side. Really good. Like the initial stage was good. Rons picked up Eames straight away as well onto the point. I think they just needed to try and stabilize. Alien should try to be denying that high ground a little bit more though, because both of the red scouts were able to run across point and get into the blue combo space way too easily. And because of that, Shrom ended up having to Patchouli ended up having to take a 1v1 with a scout, and Neo had no ammo loaded to deal with it.
Yep, so Ora come down with the mid-fight. Both teams up on Medigun, no crit streak shenanigans, which potentially could have come out in this situation. But they're both opting for Ubers. They've been built quite nicely. Just a slight Uber advantage here for the side of the Frenchies, just sat back on their second. We're going to go into a bit of a stalemate for the first time here, Josh.
I'm hoping that this more proactive Aura will not be sitting back for like 3 minutes to make a play. They'll like just be thinking, right, this is what we're going to do, and execute. And here we go. Soldiers in already, gets denied very quickly, but it's still signs of life. I might be able to trade runs. Oh, he's going to live. Oh, there's a nice little flank from Duo on the rear end. Gets trimmed down to 60 HP, and Neo gets a flag onto Nevo. This is really good for the Frenchies now. They don't have to overcommit here. They don't have to feed. They can just take it nice and slow and bully Aura out.
Yeah, smartly played. They're moving in towards mid. They know the medic's quite weak still, and they've been able to push pressure him back just off the damage that was done from that Duo bomb. Duo is now respawning, but they've taken a lot of position on the high ground. Joe goes down to QB, and we're seeing another one of these soldiers trying to get aggressive. But all know that their goose is cooked. They're just going to back up, chill back on second, give up the mid-fight, and you quite well executed there once more from the Frenchies.
Yeah, it's a lovely little take. Scouts stuck high ground and they are good heals while Alien was pushing hard on the flank. And Rons is already not wasting any time, gets a bomb in straight away, but hits nothing. And QB's coming in on the lower ground, lower PC, tries to get the flank, doesn't catch anything, and AZN gets the force on mid opportunity. What a lovely little counter-sack play from AZN. That's a right, if you're Aura now, all you need to do is just play the information game and you can try and methodically take this. Like, this is a fine situation to know you can take this like nice and slow. And Dwo's already been called out in a really bad hiding spot. We've got lots of high ground present, but Eames is already denying that very, very well. AZN should be able to get a fast rollout in soon. Ronson's going to get very easily denied here. Chom's absolutely safe, full Uberad saved. Still dwindling down nice and slowly, but Oreo should be looking to keep this aggression going. This is potentially a time where they could use this Uberad now, because it's still like quite high. 30% is more than enough to use.
Yeah, they're going to move in through sewer through that Al-Qaeda area. They see absolutely no one on second. Only Patchouli and Neo far forward. Everyone else is back. Alien Smiley might actually get caught out here. A nice bomb from the sculpture, and we see Nevo running. He picks up Neo. Alien Smiley going very, very, very weak, but will escape, and they've actually managed to somehow wrangle themselves 2 picks, so they could contest if they want. Uber's up for both sides, 2 picks. The cap does come in here from Abba. AZN
Well
picks up
played
to
from
the flank as
AZN.
well.
What a beautiful flank from AZN. Just got in behind, completely like unseen, and just did, of course, absolute chaos. Pretty much single-handedly got them that second point. And he's going on to Patchouli, and Patchouli drops! Oh, AZN's just had a like absolute quality life. What a beautiful Roma life there.
Yeah, nicely played. I think one of the scouts they got baited into lobby area. He did pick up Eames, but he wasn't there protecting his medic. They didn't have the off classes up that they would potentially have wanted as well. So Patchouli does drop. They do give up that Uber, so it's 100% here for Ora Elektro. Just trying to get their players buffed up nicely. Nice chunky heals on every single one of them, seeing where they want to move. They have to deal with a sentry gun and a Poos up at the top left. Big entrance through 4. We're now seeing one soldier jumping in to try and deny them, but knocks the scout back. But now they're moving towards a point. Decent cap time coming in. They haven't got any frags though here on the side of Ora Elektro. They have finally scattered the dickies, but there is a big fat Pootis man up on the point. Neo getting arrowed, getting healed, and they can't
He's behind
deal
on
with
the
it.
back cap. He's just behind. No one's called him. No. I've seen that one before. Pretty close, but not. If he had Pain Train, he would have definitely got that. But now this is also the risk that he's taken with this has just provided the Frenchies with a free second, and AZM misses his first shot as well. So now the Frenchies know there's a sniper in play, which means there's one less heavy class to spam this choke point now. This is like very, very good bomb, very, very good time to get aggressive on the flanks now. The Frenchies are being a little bit too slow. QB needs more support so he can get in on the flank for free. Joe get picked off because of it. Really well played. AZN's way too far back to get anything as well. They should be getting more aggressive with this Uber. They know this. They know they have like more spam classes to take Uber into them.
Yeah, they
and
have
now
so
it's too late.
They had so many advantages there, but I think they were just scared of the sniper. They didn't want to overcommit, and the sniper does finally find him. Aim's actually commits super deep into choke, gets juggled up, launched, and Neo finishes him off. So they're going to continue moving here. Uber's up for both sides, but with one side 2 players down and a sniper as well, they don't want to take an aggressive trade. Neo just runs in, walks past everyone, finds the sniper AZN, and going to take the second off the back of that.
Julie had a lovely little dodge there, saw the sniper in rollout, instantly crashed and looked to the floor and like hit his head, so he couldn't have the head hitbox. And they already pick up Ora. Wait, I hear an Uber pop. Chum got forced. Oh, this is horrendous. Just one bad misplay on a last point, and they've coasted it now. Chum got forced after they did like a nice little play onto Joe. But there was no immediate danger around Trum. I know he was 70 HP, but there was nobody like pressuring him from any of the doors. I mean, he was also a bit too far forward as well when the gun wasn't even like level 3. You know, you don't usually take that position until the gun's level 3, and now they've done a nice little one Uber. Alien's taking the gun over, taking the gun out. Still no stickies cleared on point though. The soldiers have not cleared the point. Taking good position on the high ground, but the heavy's still up. Gets one pick onto QB. This push is looking a little bit tired. Duo's getting hard baited. The rest of the Frenchies have just bailed. Just seems to be a very reoccurring theme right now. Neither team have got a decent last push setup. There's no methodology into either of them. They don't know. No, every player does not know what they're doing. But Ron's gets a beautiful bomb and chase of Eames. This is definitely holdable now. If you're the Frenchies, you 100% hold this. You get the heels onto Alien so he doesn't get bullied out like this, and you take a much stronger position. But QB's on last. QB's got the back cap.
Oh, and he finds it. There were so many players on the second there for Ora Elektro weren't aware of where QB was. He sneaked in off the back of it. As you said, they wanted to big balls it. They wanted to use that Eames pick to try and hold the second, and it was just all a bait, and the back cap comes in. Now the Frenchies have turned it around and they're 2-1 up here. Moving into this mid now, seeing the soldiers again really fast from the Frenchies by Neo, trying to get aggressive on the top area, but he does get picked up immediately by Eames. Joe as well going down, but it seems to be that Ora Elektro have the better of this fight. Another coming in from AZN in. Duo picks up Trum on the backlines while everyone's chasing Patchouli down. Alien, Smiley and Patchouli both very weak, but will escape out of there, and somehow Ora lost Trum in the midst of all that.
That was a very budget win for the Frenchies. I would not class that as like a very comfortable mid-win or even a good mid-win. They went to the right side and stacked 2 scouts on the red crate with, I think, Rons as well. So they all shared the same damage once again. The mids have been really bad from the Frenchies so far. The only saving grace was that Duo stayed in PC until the very end and got like a free bomb onto Trump because no one was looking for him.
One fake bomb coming in from AZN gets a lot of damage out on himself, but none on the opposition. The other soldier, that Joe, comes in. But is cleaned up by Ron as well. AZN is back in for more. Gets a lot of damage out of Patchouli. He's stuck in a corner. Does get the 4th out. Very nicely done by the soldiers, and they've actually Trump's negotiated his way out of there pretty cleanly as well. So with the 2 players out, it seems that the Frenchies want to continue moving this on. Trump is just coming up to 100%, taking a lot of damage here before the Ubers come out. They're not really in position to use this as well. Probably just going to wait for their soldiers to get buffed up.
They're rotating to PC, they're taking the aggression in the PC area straight away, but they don't know Duo's hiding on this PC. But he's not going for any flank play. Actually, you know what? Fair play. Smart decision. Go back, regroup, players 6, and reset. I can respect that decision.
Yeah, they just chased everyone out of there, and you know, they knew there wasn't any hiders. They just went fast. They knew that their spawners were going to come in at the tail end of that, and just nicely done. Caught them slightly out of position, but they're going to have to, you know, it's a leapfrog situation once more, and they're going to have to worry about this Uber coming in pretty short. They're just trying to walk it in through Joke here. The French got a lot of space, a lot of information. Rods is just waddling around on the low ground. One soldier comes in towards him, but Smiley picks him up with some nice sticky placement, and they're moving in towards. They're not going to have to use this Uber. Looks like they've bullied Ora out of there.
Frenchies are adapting more now. Like the Frenchies are adapting much more to Aura's like hold on this midpoint, and they're actually basing the soldiers much more. Neo's playing much more tighter with Patchouli. Patchouli's got the scout speed buff to the use so they can actually dodge soldiers. Rodens was a very questionable play. I'm not sure what the agenda was there, but nothing. I mean, they could make space here for an AZN counter-sack. He could go for a fast rollout while he's got all this distraction, but he's just choosing to waddle, and the window for a counter-sack is definitely closed because Ron's just going to get the respawn now. He still goes for it. That's a lovely bomb. I can't believe that works, though. That's... Yeah, there was 4 players watching the choke, and he still gets away with that bomb. That's really questionable. There was no sneeze on the choke. There was no no pressure on the high ground. And Pachuli's position as well was very questionable, standing just AFK on the point. And Ora takes in the Uber really aggressively. Catches nothing from it as well.
Yeah, it was fadeaway pipe onto Pachuli there, but nothing else happened. They have locked them out of the mid fight, but you know, all came off the back of a great bomb. It was actually Ames making a lot of space in that choke area, just standing there, taking all the potential threat, all the potential damage, and then his soldiers were able to come in off the back of it. Pachuli up to 60%, so as often happens in these leapfrog situations, the Ubers are getting closer and closer and closer every time, and this bodes potentially well for Ora Elektro. It's only a 10% ad here for the side of the Frenchies. Ora Elektro in control of mid, and yeah, we can see how passive the Frenchies are. It looks like they're aware of the much closer Uber situation. Doesn't look like they want to take it back in.
If you're the Frenchies, though, you play the mental game here. You've had 20 minutes of back and forth action. You know that nice little sticky shot from Alien. Well played. That was really good. They could potentially catch AZN in here if Ron's communicate. No. I understand what he was going for, but AZN's got in a flanker for free. But nothing's going to come of this. He's going to reset, and QB gets traded off for this as well. Some questionable positioning again. When you lose one, you just need to be resetting, and now they've just lost straight away. And Amarok's got in on the flank. There's a lot of damage. Neil's taking a lot of damage. They just sort of gifted that second to Ora. When you lose runs, you don't need to be pressuring anymore. You just reset, just get on the high ground and get your buffs up. But everyone's on a different page.
Kept moving into the last here, seeing AZN in secret area. There's a heavy up for QB in the spawn door, so they're not getting any threat in towards Pachuli just yet. The other soldier in 5, I see Ora decided just to out there. They saw, they just peeked. They put themselves in a position where they could go for some kind of sack attempt. They saw that for kind of the first time really that the Frenchies had backed out to last. Put themselves in a much better position this time than they had in previous opportunities, and there was nothing happening, so they just backed out of there.
And they had the Fat Boys on the field as well, so the push was, or the sack waves were going to be very, very low percentage chance of them making work. And if they have very high volume, they'll know AZN's on sniper because he just got buffed. But no one's pressuring it. Rons just did not check it at all and just gets picked up instantly. Now they definitely know the sniper's on the field, but no one's watching Ron. Amarok is in 1 for free, and Joe's just pushed 2 for free. The gun's getting pressured super hard. Alien picks up 1. AZN's in for free. He whiffs a shot. Oh, this is really dangerous. This hold is way too scattered. They need one person watching each door. There's got to be one person watching each respective door. Otherwise, if you're truly, you're shitting yourself right now, because that was way too close. I'm not really disappointed that Joe didn't use that advantage to go for a bomb, and now Joe gets picked up again.
Yeah, Duo has been trying to put some counter pressure into this lobby area, but that time he peeked into AZN. But AZN taking a lot of damage. Alien Smiley, getting very, very aggressive in the lobby area. His stickies are being shot out of the air, or out of as they hit the ground by Nevo, who is just doing a beautiful job keeping his medic nice and safe. And as they try and get the sniper AZN once more into position, this time he's trying to get in towards 5. He finds Rons there.
This hold is just so scuffed. There's no one pressure. Nice shot from Neo. That's the saving grace for this hold right now. But it's still going to be. AZN's still getting these angles for free. He's getting them way too easily right now. And I want Joe to be a little bit more aggressive here, because if Joe looks at the map a bit more right now, he should be able to realize he has all these angles for free. The gun can't block him. Nothing can really block him. There's no stickies, no sniper, no soldier. He's just for free. And there it is, finally.
Yeah, it was a bit of an inevitability there. They're just giving AZN time and time again. We saw Rons trying to go for a desperate attempt into drum, but it doesn't get the Uber, and the Uber is finally used out onto Ames. They're trying to get across QB is eventually being cleaned up. It's very, very easy. They just had so many players, had their full Uber that they could use, and Ora Elektro take it back to 2-2.
There was just such a, like, I mean, well played to Ora for taking that last hold apart, like realizing where the advantages were. Like 1 and 2 were just completely open, like completely free. It was horrendous hold from the Frenchies. No one was supporting Rons. Alien was no man's land. He would sticky 2, then sticky 3, then sticky 4. It was just horrendous. And Duo should have just been rotating to the right and helping Rons. Someone needed to help him, but in turn they lost it and went on to the next mid.
Yeah, high bomb from ADN means he's going to jump into 2 scouts and get back out there. Woe is aggressively onto Trump, finds that final rock, just a little bit of a warp shot coming in on Trump, but the player advantage here is Ora Elektro. They're going to try and chase Patchouli down. Neo and QB, the 2 scouts, perfectly in position to protect him, so they're going to run all the way back to last. The mid cap is going to go down, but it's going to be the Frenchies come out with an Uber advantage, even if they have given up that mid cap and the position, potentially on second as well.
Yeah, Eames just has so much more presence on these mids. He denies the high ground initially so well against QB and Neo that they can't get any space. There's a soldier hiding in PC right now that nobody is aware of, and QB's about to walk into his rockets and potentially get traded out. Yeah, 1v2 on the flank. This is still a really good position if you're Ora right now. You would not be afraid if you're Ora, despite having this big Uber advantage against you. There's so many flank routes that you can bust right now with QB being dead, and I think the Frenchies know this. I think the Frenchies are too afraid. Like 5 minutes on the clock, they know Chum's going to get Uber. The sort of one play right now is to use the Uber aggressively and try to get 1 or 2 kills, but even then that's such a Hail Mary play at this stage. To make that work you need 6 players alive.
Yeah, they don't want to take the risk in the 5v6 scenario, even with the Uber advantage. They knew they didn't have much position as well. The full setup from Ora Elektro, Eames had all the stickies he wanted in choke. You know, everyone was in position. There was a big threat as well. Both the flankers in PC had to be watched just by the single man. So they've slowed it down. They've actually brought the spy out from QB here to try to go into the situation. As one frag is traded in position, but at the moment I think it's all down to QB to find something.
Alien needs to be getting healed here when he pressures choke like this, because now he's just been free bombed by 2 soldiers. AZN's still in behind, and Patchouli gets forced, but QB drops Trom in the backline. It's all worked out. Well, it's working out slowly but surely. The problem is, no, it's 2 scouts against a scout and medic. Rons is here, and the spawns do favour Ora right now, because the cap point is going to be so slow to start that Ora is going to get all the spawns. There is potential for Ora to fight this, because they know they know they're 2 down, and they are taking this. The cap time is still really slow. Like there was no initial position as well to try and block this. The saving grace here needs to be Alien sort of going really aggressive, because Neo's already been traded off by Eames and Amarok just shutting him down. Alien's just got bullied out super hard. Yeah, that was really well played from Ora. Very good recognition of the situation.
Yeah, beautifully done. They saw that for the Frenchies, they were in that kind of catch-22 scenario. They wanted to play the high ground to protect their medic as they walked in, but obviously that meant they gave up the cap time. Didn't get too much cap time. Soldier bomb hit lands on 4 people in the choke area. Gets a lot of damage down, but no frags. Can they do anything off the back of that? Trump is coming up to 100% here, so they might want to fight it on the side. Eames takes a little bit of damage, but they're going to take the Uber aggressively here through the point. The high ground is all for the Frenchies now. They're on the chase. Trump is caught in a really bad position. Caught in choke, the furthest player forward. He's going to be found out. Now, 5 players alive here for the Frenchies. They pick up Neva, they pick up Joe. Just 3 alive for Ora Elektro. They're running all the way back. Tail between their legs, all really, really weak. Just AZN, the threat on the flank as well. Shows himself in IT that I think they perhaps knew he was there already, and he's cleaned up. And a beautiful one fight there for the Frenchies.
Very uncharacteristic decision for Ora. If you're there, 3 minutes left, and you have your medic is playing in PC, and the Frenchies are capping the point. That's not an Uber you take. That's fine to just back out to seconds, especially with 2 minutes left. If it was 20 minutes left, yeah, fine. You take that fight. You see what happens and try and make the most of it. But Jump just got stuck in no man's land by the spam, and now they've got a big Uber advantage to deal with as well. Alien gets juggled super early. No one's cleared the stickies off the point. 1 soldier's... Right, Alien's cleared it. Neo's getting some cap time initially. Alien's getting absolutely bodied though. And they've lost both soldiers as well because of it, because they're trying to do too many things at once. Oh, so just another crumbled last push. But Julie's leaving lower IT with a scout, so they'll be able to reset on mid. Trum died in the commotion with that as well. That's like the one saving grace that you can take away if you're the Frenchies in this. But they did get all the spawns as well. This is going to be a rinse and repeat situation now. You're just going to get a free recap and then have one more chance to make this push work.
Yeah, Patchouli still nowhere near the Uber, but Ora Elektro don't seem too keen to take the fight. Seen a couple of players peak themselves. They are going to back up to last. We could see that last mid fight, the last push, sorry, that the focus fire wasn't there from the Frenchies. So many players went low on Aura, but weren't picked off. But they have this second attempt of it now. Trying to move again through the lobby. They've tended to go through four pretty much every time. This time it's through four once more. Pop very, very early. They see the sentry gun. Takes a little while. In fact, they don't even take it down. The engineer swaps off. Still no pressure towards the left side. No pressure on the cap. Finally coming down now. Cap time down now. But the red Uber is up. There's a soldier in the back lines, but he's just shooting Uber flares. Doesn't matter how many nice rockets he hit when the players have that flash of the Uber. A beautiful rocket from AZN onto Duo as well. Deletes him from the server. And it looks like Ora Elektro will hold on with just 20 seconds left. QB in for a last gasp attempt, but we're going to be going into a golden gap here.
I'm so disappointed that not one of these teams has ever thought about how to push last. It's so triggering to watch for teams that have, from players that have consistently played near the top of Prem, and not one of them has any understanding of how this last point works. They're doing too much at once, the Frenchies, on both of those last points there. Like, Rons is pushing in through 5, and he doesn't need to be bombing this combo. He doesn't even need to be bombing at the start while the Uber goes in. An alien's bomb gets denied instantly every single time. He just gets juggled into the sky. The sentry gun lasts like 3 seconds longer than it should, and they're not able to get any cap pressure to force the red soldiers to make a play onto the point. Like, if Rons just peeks from 5 and shoots a rocket onto the point, it makes Neo's life so much easier because Neo can just play a tiny corner on the point and get good vision of the red soldiers and bait them hard super onto it. And then Alien, in turn, Alien doesn't need to pressure the combo. He doesn't need to pressure a fat boy that's hiding in the spawn. He doesn't need to worry about a demo that's hiding in the spawn. He can just get the soldier picks that try to bomb him on point. It's just, you can trade off the frags so much cleaner than what they're trying to do. Because what they're trying to do right now is they're taking the side with the sentry gun and trying to use the chaos with a double soldier bomb and alien's aggression onto the combo to get as many frags as possible. But you're playing into Aura's hands when you do that. You're running into players who are just coming out of the spawn with 300 HP, 200 HP. You're not going to win that fight. It's better to make them waste their HP to try and get to you while you still have your Uber. You can retain some of your Uber while you're doing this. I
I
mean,
think
it's the same as well for Aura as well. Aura did the exact same problems. Like, both teams are just awful at pushing last.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a case of they had kind of one idea for a last push, and they certainly weren't executing it very well. But also, do you think it could be in this kind of situation where you've done one attempt of this one style all through four, getting the demo and the scouts just aggressive onto the center, and then trying to play the captain? Do you think it's a case of you go for just a completely different type of push, or you try and refine that push that isn't working?
Well, they tried doing it through one as well. There was two one pushes that the Frenchies tried to do, where they did scout demo through one, which is fine, can work well because you get really aggressive down the left side fast. So you lock the left shutter out. The problem is the gun doesn't go down quick enough. Both times when they did that, Alien bombed high to try and get the, but then the gun, because it's going to focus him because he's the nearest player to it. It doesn't matter if he's Ubered, he just gets bullied straight. The Sentry's knockback just pushes him all the way across the map, and he doesn't have any impact onto like the spawn door when they're trying to come out, so they can get out of the spawn for free, even if he trades with the gun. It needs to be. I think there just needs to be a bit more thought process put into the position of the last point of the players where they go on these last pushes. Like, you don't even have to feed your soldiers on this last point. Your soldiers can wait for the defending soldiers to try and bomb point and then counter bomb. And you, because when you're a defending soldier and you bomb points and you've denied the point, you're only going to go one position, and that's to your medic or to your spawn door. If you wait and counter bomb them where they're going to land, you're going to do your 200 damage bomb will turn into a 400, 500 damage bomb because the demo's going to be in the spawn door with a fat boy, and you're going to do just so much more damage, and you can sync it better, and you preserve your HP more. It's just disappointing to see that these soldiers just not one of them's really thinking about what they should be doing.
Well, either way, we are now moving into this golden cap scenario on this first map for these two teams. We see the AZN going to be flying onto the mid-fight super quickly before anyone from the Frenchies is even there. And then much better position here for Ora. Get a lot of damage down onto Ron's. Alien Smiley stuck as well. Patchouli gets caught out. There's only a few players left alive here from Ora Elektro, but it's the demo man, it's Nevo, the Pocket Scout, and Trump. So they're just going to play around. He was backups and Choke did a beautiful job. They've given up the position that they did take earlier on, but they've kept their medic alive, so they're going to have a chunky advantage.
They don't want to give this up. Actually, they are making like a good play on this, where they're just going to like slowly pepper these people down, because they know the buffs aren't going to be there for them for ages, and this should be just a nice little mid recap. If you're the Frenchies here, you don't want to end up on last. This is where like they can still make a play, but not by sacking players. All they should do here is just do some really good coordinated spam. But Rons is just, well, Rons gets an early force out, and Eames gets a horrendous bomb. That's actually really well played from Rons. I thought he was just going to go for an information play, but he sort of just dived into the choke and did 200 damage instantly and got out. Really well played.
Yeah, basically perfect bomb from a soldier that you'd expect. Just gets in cleanly. Trump quite far forward, actually. The players weren't really there in front of him to protect him, so he's forced to pop. Now Patchouli's the one with the bunch. They're actually going to pop it straight out from the lower lobby area. They've juggled Eames into the corner, and he's going to be easily picked up by Alien Abba, and AZN go down as well. Trading out just 2 alive here for the side of Ora Elektro, backing up to mid. Everyone on the flank has been dealt with, and they know there's a 2 alive, so they're just going to stack second here on the side of the Frenchies. Trump does have a big Uber advantage, so there might not be enough players here to get either cap time on second or a force play going on to Trump soon. The orders are coming very quickly here for Ora Elektro.
Nevo's got a very good Uber to take in here, because he knows his boys are right behind him. This is a really good opportunity for Eames to just get 2 stickies and bomb with this Uber as well. It doesn't matter if they don't get Patchouli. Oh, but never mind, the counter bomb comes out. What a beautiful bomb from Duo. Synced up with Alien spam. The Lemmings play is going to have to come out from Ora now. If they just play it slow, they can just pick these people. But there's a soldier on Patchouli. Oh, well played. Nice and slow. Blob to your medic. Let them do the Lemmings play, because the Lemmings play should never work at this level. Really well timed bomb from. I mean, a little bit of misdirection from Ora as well. They knew they had this big Uber ads. They could be pre-popping this Uber in choke. Eames double stickies, gets in. Soldiers and scouts follow him up. Just hard commit with a big Uber push, get 3 kills or 2 or 3 kills. Doesn't even have to be the med. Then you just roll it to last from there. But
yeah,
Dwell took the initiation himself. Really well played with Alien spam. Now they're taking a very questionable hold on second as well.
Yeah, they want to peek him, but it seems the Frenchies have bullied them out completely. AZN with the sniper from the lobby area picks up Rons, so that will slow them down a little bit. Patchouli actually, oh my god, he almost ran straight into the sun. But they're actually going to rotate, coming in through 1, but the Uber is up here for Trump, building Uber very well, perhaps not counted as well by the Frenchies. They're moving out to second, they're actually chasing quite with Nevo, but he takes a rocket in rollout and just backs himself up to last. So both teams are going to settle down a little bit. Kind of a lot of sap coming out from the lobby area up towards the point, but both teams are going to build up this Uber. We are going to settle down in the stalemate.
Yeah, pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Ubers weren't being counted properly, because it did take him a lot of time as well to get that second point. They didn't really pressure out Eames enough as quick as they should, but they're doing the right play now, which is where they're keeping the pressure on before they allow the sentry to get to level 3. But in order to make this work, you just need your soldiers to grow up there and just go in. You can't take this lobby position and just sort of stay idle, because you take way too much damage in this lobby area, as Rons is already showing. Just about survives with 2 HP there. Pretty close escape. But yeah, the window for that play is definitely closed. Like, this lobby is a death trap. It needs to be just a very clear, decisive call of what you're doing when you enter this lobby, because you will get bullied out super hard. There doesn't seem to be any direction again.
Yeah, they're back at the lobby now. We're actually seeing Alien Smiley is going to be the one peeking, but he peeks, gets himself a fiery face of flames there as the pyro burns him down. A headshot rings out. He finds itself onto Neo, but isn't able to pick him up. He does live with the buff, but the collective damage taken here from the Frenchies means they're going to back up to second. They're all hiding on the low ground, worried about the sniper potentially peeking out from some which way, but it gives potential for Ora to do something now. Plays a buff back up, we might be seeing a sack pretty soon, as everyone's just peeking back towards the long. Neo's going back towards as well. QB's found some space in one. They've spammed the sentry down as well, despite the pyro trying to deny it. A soldier runs in the back lines as well. The other soldier comes in now towards the medic. Lands on Trump, but doesn't have that final rocket he needs. Neo somehow finds aims in all of that, but 3 down here,
Nice,
and the pyro is trying to push out as well.
Gazzy would be proud. I mean, the setup from the Frenchies, very good. Getting that spam, getting that pressure. QB had a lovely little play in True 1, but I'm not going to dissect that just yet because the Frenchies look like they don't want to give this up. They've done a lot of damage to Joe on the flank, but he does not get traded. Instead, QB gets traded. Now it'll just be a back to mid scenario where they should just be able to reset on the high ground. They should be... Oh, nice, good. Joe does pick up Joe in the tail end of this. The Stickies are actually denying the soldier much better this time. Patchouli makes good position as well. Goes straight forward, knows AZN's bomb is awful. And now there's going to be a lot of pressure on the flank. Dwo's in from behind for free. No one spotted him as well. He's got a completely free bomb into Trump, but he whiffs the rocket.
Yeah, Trump has to pop though because of the other soldier Rod's coming in at the end of that. Didn't want to drop that Uber. Patchouli's packed himself back up nicely to choke as well, so they won't have to use. Rods is cleaned up, so there's 2 soldiers down. There's 6 to 4 up in the side of Ora Elektro despite the Uber disadvantage, so they're going to peek themselves close towards choke, but they don't want to overcommit with their medic. AZN trying to take a buff, but it's going to be Joe, the first soldier, to bomb in, but he's so many players he's bombing into. Patchouli kiting back, but he drops! AZN finds that clinical rocket. It's a drop for Patchouli, and it all falls apart for the Frenchies.
That's heartbreaking, man. Like, but I mean, the scouts were with him. He surfed away a little bit. Alien goes in for like a sort of a very anticlimactic bomb. They haven't even done any damage to Trump right now. QB gets a 2-shot onto Trump though. What a beast! What an absolute beast. He's still going as well. Amrox 4 HP. Oh my god. Wow. QB little unsung hero. QB's had like the last sort of like 5 minutes. QB's had some really nice players right now.
Yeah, that was chaos. Both the soldiers coming in, finding everything other than any damage onto the medic, but QB just beasts with the 2-shot. We now see Rods jumping in, picks up Nevo instantly. The other scout, Amma's really weak as well. He might get caught out knowing he sneaks himself
No, he will get caught.
into sewer.
He should get caught.
He should, but the soldier doesn't want to commit, doesn't know his health, but Neo finds Amma as well, so Ora are going to be stuck back on last with the 3 players. They've got a big Uber disadvantage as well, so I think it's now or never for the Frenchies. They have a last push attempt once more, Josh.
Eyes on ACN. Doesn't go. No, they know that there's no gun as well. They have spotted it early. Went for the tree top, but they lost 2 instantly. Alien got picked up with the Uber. That's from good to bad. But hang on, behind. Door's behind. Oh, but Amrock knows. Amrock's too smart. That's actually still a good play though. He is going to buy time for his team to get spawned. And they know that there's like some weak players on last. They have to heal up. Yeah, there's nothing they can really do with it. Say no Chum as well. House has a bigger Uber ad. If you're Ora now, this is like a free mid take because there's one less spam class to deal with.
They're popping straight in though. They are chasing everyone out. Complete split here from the Frenchies. A lot of caps down already. Patchouli only up to 75%. But, you know, that's pretty close with 6 players alive as well. They're going to be looking to take this in pretty shortly as well,
They're just not reading the game, man. The one spam class down. You're not going to get forced when there's one soldier down. That's a free mid take. They lost the Uber ad for free here. Now the Frenchies are going to do what you should be doing, which is try and take this midpoint for free. Asian bombs in on Patchouli again. He's got no scout with him. But he does get cleaned up in the end. Joe's out of this fight. Nevo's really weak. Doesn't get caught. Alien could have some balls here. If he knows he still has big Uber out, he could go for this. There's still 15 seconds, 50% window right now to take.
Yeah, the Frenchies want to press the question with the Ubad slowly closing as well. We're seeing a bomb coming in from AZ, and he finds the force out as well. Just seemed to glide in the air for an absolute eternity. Juggled a little bit by the scout, but it just gave him extra distance. Now the pop coming straight in from one, from Ames. He's going to jump in. Nevo picks up Woe, but Ames is going to barrel forward into the choke. Neo goes really, really low, but he can't get any damage to finish it up. No scout or soldier to follow up on the Demoman's damage as well. They seem to be scattered asunder. And a big bomb coming in from Runt, but Trump actually doing an excellent job baiting his whole team, but keeping himself alive as the soldier jumps deep in towards him. And Ora Elektro transitioned this quite nicely in the end, despite that momentary lack of focus as everyone's scattered. And while they've controlled mid now, they still are at a bit of an uber disadvantage, so it's very back and forth.
The thing is as well, right now, you're 4 minutes left of this golden cap. If you're the Frenchies, you don't want this to go to another mid fight because you've lost every mid fight so far. Like on the initial mids when the round resets. Aura's mids are just so much more stronger. Eames has so much more presence. Alien is not getting the high ground denials that he needs to do. They've got QB on Spy again. We've seen what he did last time, but when he did it last time, there was a lot of chaos coming in from Aura at the initiation. Well, but they're trying the PC play right now. This is a perfect chance for QB if he can get in now. The soldiers are going to distract for him. He needs to move. Stop standing still.
He's
They're
just
just
waiting and waiting and
Yeah, but
waiting.
they're going to reset now, and then they're just going to back out while nothing's been done.
I think he's maybe waiting for the team to back out into him, but he's extremely risky. He's in position now, but has to jump himself up onto the high ground. So yeah, there's still a spy.
He's close. He gets Trump.
Wow.
And he's going to live as well. They have no idea. All right, well played, QB. You know more than me about Spy. Well played.
Clearly so. It was the long con thought. He was baiting everyone, not going in for a play, but finds the perfect opportunity as they backed up into a reset. Now they're moving in. T-Clux finds Nevo with the revolver. Rods is going to get some damage out of the ammo, and he's absolutely blattered by Neo as well. So the Frenchies now are in prime position. They're stacking the cap on second. They still have an absolutely ginormous Uber advantage as they move in towards second here. They're just seeing Eames. They have to worry about potential sticky trap. I think it was cleared pretty quickly right as well.
No one's called top PC. Asian's got a free bomb onto Patchouli again. That is, I can't remember how many times he's done that this game. I think we're moving up to about 7 or 8. God, if you're Patchouli right now, I'd be seething.
They're moving in towards last here though on the Frenchies side. Both soldiers.
What a beautiful bomb!
Beautifully
runs. They just won the game.
Really nicely done. Beautiful sync coming out of the soldiers. Just going off that one pick that they had, and the fact that perhaps Ora Elektro were expecting it to settle down into a situation where they had the uber advantage and they weren't expecting the Frenchies to press the issue. They weren't in position, and a beautiful focus fire and executed synchronized play, and it wins them this first map off the back of it.
I'm seeing a lack of GGs coming out right now. I feel like there might be a lot of tilt factor in Aura. I mean, dropping to a spy twice, Trum was definitely tilted. I don't know if you saw the chat when that second one happened, but I mean, I know making reference before to Patchouli being seething when he's getting forced consistently over by AZN like that, but even in Trum's position as well, I'd also be like just as angry if I was Trum. But if we're going to analyze that, it came down to a lot of individual plays. The team aspect was not as strong of a presence as it was the individual plays. QB, if you're going off players who are like the standout players, you're gonna have to give it to QB. Dropped Trum twice, got a back cap, got lots of flank plays that were just sort of like, it wasn't round winning, but it was time consuming because he stayed alive, he had the positional advantage, and even if he died at the end of it, he bought enough time for his spawners to come back and reset with his team. But then if you're going to switch it over, you're going to have to give it to AZN because AZN just had, I don't know, it just, his bombs weren't even that impressive. They were so predictable to where they were going to come from. It seems like there was just no one on the French squad that was trying to count players. They weren't trying to like see where the soldiers were. Like when you're doing a push and you're executing a play, counting players needs to be one of your like first priorities. Doesn't everyone have to? Not everyone does it, but one person should do it. Ideally, your pocket scout, because your pocket scout is going to be thinking when you're doing a push, right? Who's going for my medic, and where are they? Are they not? Are they not visible to me when I come through this choke? Right. I can't leave my medic's side. I can't take space, but my demo can, and we can bait the soldier to come to us. Didn't really just that effect just wasn't there. They were taking space. Neo was running away from Patchouli, and then Patchouli was just getting forced completely for free. Azazian's bombs, he just went over the high ground on mid and just landed in his face. And then Patchouli had some nice surfs, but the problem is the surfs were not in. He didn't surf in a way to help his team. And I know that's going to sound very stupid, or it doesn't sound like it makes sense. But when you're doing like a surf, you want to be surfing around your team. Some of the surfs he was doing was surfing sort of towards the enemy, like surfing further forward instead of just sort of holding S and using S to surf away. And I mean, but then again, it comes down to also Neo not being on the same wavelength as him. Neo should be glued to Patchouli, and when he's not glued to Patchouli, that means that does sort of force Patchouli into this situation.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to be a bit of a disconnect there between the pocket scout and his medic. AZN, as you said, it wasn't necessarily the quality of the bombs that were coming in, but it was always the timing and the fact that they weren't aware where he was and where he was coming from. And as you said, when he did come in and find those nice bombs, Patchouli didn't know exactly where he wanted to surf to. It's not always the quality, not always about hitting the perfect surf, but surfing yourself into a good position where your team is around you to support. And they weren't quite finding that. But despite that, as we said, they did win. They did win that first map. They do take 2 points to one on that first map, and as you said, it was off the back of a lot of individual plays. Um, and yeah, I mean, Ora Elektro probably came in expecting to win that first map. How much of a kind of mental kind of disadvantage do you think they're at now?
I mean, Trum's definitely fuming. If Trum's saying like that, I think Trum's head's probably a little bit gone. But if you're going to analyze this from Aura, you're going to be thinking what went well. And the first thing that went well was your mids. Right? So if you got strong mids, the game's already like probably a quarter won for you because the mids matter so much in this game. And their mids were just far more stronger than the Frenchies. So you can take this into the next map and use that to your advantage. I mean, the last pushes, you know, a lot to be desired, lots of room for improvements, just lots more that needs analysing on who does what in each role, which soldier's going to clear the stickies on the point, which scout plays the point first, where does my other scout play when he's in a position to like take over the point from the other scout after he gets bombed, where does my roamer come in, doesn't even have to go like completely all the way on the flank. He can just literally like trail the Uber or like just push tree door instead while the combo goes 4. Just needs to be little things like that that just need to be sort of brought to cohesion, and then the teamwork factor will like sort of absolutely crush all these players trying to do these individual plays. But I mean, if you're the Frenchies were doing so well when it came to like not a slow game, or when they were able to control the pace of the game. Like if they were on the back foot on their second, on their last, they were struggling hard. Like they were just sort of. It just felt like they didn't want to play it slow. They didn't want to like sit back and do nothing. And I respect that play style, but did amount to some feeding in some situations, lost a couple of points, lost a round because of it as well. So if you're the Frenchies and you're not winning the mids and you're just getting put on the back foot consistently, you need to be analysing yourselves in game. What can we do to change this? Do we just send 3 people for the red medic and make it so our medic is going to live all the time? Do we just send 6 people aggressive and just take a massive brawl fight and just forget about Patchouli's life? Like there's all these different ways you can make decisions in this game to to adapt your game to what's going on.
Yeah, certainly a lot of options for the Frenchies, but I think a lot of positives as well they can take. I mean, if they've converted a few more of those last pushes, we could have been talking about a bit of a bit of a landslide there for the Frenchies. They had so many opportunities. I think it obviously came off the back of them just winning, a lot of situations where came down to messy team fights or, just better post-over positioning from the Frenchies, which is perhaps something you'd expect that, Aura, you'd expect them to be perhaps a little bit more organized as they are a longer, more established team. But it seemed that in certain situations, when it wasn't a stalemate, but it came down to cohesion, it came down to positioning, that it was the Frenchies that had the slight edge.
I'd agree with that. Frenchies just had that more cohesion in the transition phases. I mean, gotta give credit as well to Nevo and Amarok. Scout plays was not as like the scout play was pretty solid, pretty consistent. Like Amarok scout, I didn't know really sort of what to expect coming into it since I've never seen it at a prem level. Wasn't bad. Wasn't anything like wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't bad. He just did everything he needed to do, and that's all. And that's all you can ask for. I think definitely seemed like Joe was a little bit lost in some situations. And
Yeah,
then, but that can also be because it's a new team that he's joined. He's not used to playing with these people yet. Nevo, Amarok teams, they've played together for years now. They know what's going on with each other, probably without even saying it. Like when that can happen when you've played together that long. You just know what's happened before, and you don't even have to say it. Even like Ascent, Froyo, those kind of teams, they'll be with that sort of level of fusion. Even if they're not playing to the same level, that cohesion is still there.
Joe also, coming in playing scout last season, perhaps better known as a scout player overall, coming into a new team playing a different role as well. Certainly that first map, this is obviously the first map of the season, so I don't want to draw too many conclusions based off the back of that. But certainly he will be perhaps the one who they could get the most value if he was to step up and put in a big performance in this second map.
True. I think if you're coming into this second map, well, from what I'm guessing from this second map, is the Frenchies. I think this will be a even better map for them since they like to play aggressive and like to play the control. The map's small. The map's very closed in. You can do a lot more aggressive plays with this, and I expect to see that on this mid as well. Whereas I expect to see Aura take it probably a bit more methodical, but we'll see now since we're rolling out to the first mid.
Rolling out to the first mid of Gully Wash. This is the week 1 fixture between Ora Elektro and Habibi. And immediately we see an aggressive mid coming out of the Frenchies. They're getting themselves up aggressively into the enemy stroke, but they take so much damage. They've picked up a couple of frags for it, and there is players in behind, cleaned up to woe. So Ora Elektro, they have position in choke. They have a bit of a health advantage as well. They're trying to take themselves back to this mid fight and try and fight it out. The scrapping is going on and on and on. Neo going down as well, but it seems the Frenchies will just about settle down. But a bomb comes in again from a soldier. Rods this time cleaned up as well, and the blob of Aura at the moment just about surviving in their choke.
Still a good position to play in though if you're the Frenchies, but no one's watching drop down and Easy gets a free bomb. He goes to Alien this time, trades out the frag, it's still pretty good. Flank is doing a lot of pressure onto Duo though, and they've ended up having to take the trade, but it's actually a potentially better trade. Eames is really low post Uber. He can't even come into this fight, but the flank for the Frenchies is also crumbling really badly right now. Health advantage going a little bit more in the favour of Aura, and that should be all she wrote for this first mid. Pretty good strong showing from both teams initially. Aura read that post mid really well, where they just blobbed up into the choke and realized that the Frenchies were trying to do an aggressive play to catch them out. And where they saw that was happening, they pushed back into mid and bullied QB out. So QB had no control on the mid. Really well played from Aura.
Yeah, interesting trade as well. You can see the Ubers ended up not coming into play, and all the players were chasing each other away from the Uber, desperately trying to scrape a couple of frags together. And it was Aura who got the better of that frag exchange. They're the ones pressing their foot to the pedal now, walking in towards Big Door. And Duo's going to sneak in, find Joe. He might win it with Amarok as well, but Amarok does pick him up. He's got a 2k actually with Alien getting picked off as well, so Abba is opening stuff up. He's walked himself onto second and taking control second off that demo pick, and now we're seeing the Frenchies back up to last. They still have a couple of players down, still no demo, so they have to worry about potential Aura pressure coming in. soldiers in AZN and Amma are the two flank players in from the water area, from the river area, trying to get in towards water. But AZN is picked up quite smartly by a bunch of players rushing river, and it seems the Frenchies want to continue to press the issue, pressuring themselves with the player advantage that they have, walking in, taking river cleanly here. Big Bob coming in from one of the soldiers, Joe, towards the
Dwo's in behind. Dwo got on the big flank onto Patchouli and gets onto Trom and gets a really nice force. Patchouli's still not forced and there's still 6 alive on the Frenchies right now. He does end up forcing, I don't know why, he's 150 HP. Oh, he could have milked that. It's fine to let a player die there, that's... I don't agree with that pop at all. AZN's hiding in the elbow, Rons hasn't seen him. AZN's just going to get free kill onto Dwo. Oh, the one place Rons didn't look and Dwo gets killed because of it. But Amarok trades it as well.
Yeah, while that was happening, they moved in through the big door area. AZN's still there. He's now been seen, and he's going to have a scout. 2 scouts now just watching him hawkishly. The soldier in behind is a bit of a threat, but they want to continue moving forward. They've busted through choke. Eames goes down as well here for Ora. So the Frenchies continue moving. AZN's picked up Alien Smiley, so no demos on either side. No demos to take this messy team. Both soldiers jump in towards Patchouli, but he's served beautifully onto the high ground. The scouts doing a great job clattering down those soldiers. But it's going to be a scout chariot versus scout chariot now. Trump going very low. No health pack for him to pick up until just about now. And Neo and QB are going to run over off the back of it. They take the second cap here. They're going to back up towards choke and stuff. They actually put themselves on the high ground here. Ames wants to commit, but it's a bit of a poison palace to commit against scouts on the high ground. They've got players, they briefly had players in position to go for a flank play, and yeah, AZN finds a nice rocket, but is cleaned up and nothing is going to do on the flank there.
I really hope that the Frenchies start adapting to this, because all he's done is go for hiding spots. Like it's such a very old school style aroma, arguably not one that really has much prevalence in Prem, because you're not playing with the team at all. Rons is doing a lot of damage to Joe on the ring. If Alien could just start spamming the ring right now, Joe cannot hold this and Rons would end up getting picked off. Joe still hasn't got an arrow. He's just standing on the ring for 100 HP. I respect what they were trying to do, but that point play could have been executed so much better. If Alien's just a bit more proactive there, that point play is completely free.
I think AZN had pressured Alien down to a sliver of health, which is why he couldn't commit to the fight, getting the spam down. So it's just unfortunate, but also an excellent play from AZN just to pressure that demo back in the prime opportunity. Now we're seeing Eames trying to get aggressive.
Chum's 10 HP and Lobby. They're going for a pyro trade behind the river. This has opened the last point because Rons is on water for free. And then they're going to have a much worse Uber, and Eames is going to get picked up on the floor. It's only just about worked out because they managed to kick off the flank. But there's a scout behind as well in Riverside. Nevo's taking 1v1, gets picked off straight away. Well played. It's not a good situation as well if you're Ora right now. The spawn advantage is definitely in favour of the Frenchies. And with the demo as well, there's nothing to just stop Alien from coming in and doing what he's doing now. But not a focus fire's not really there. AZN survived longer than he should have and gets 2 kicks because of it. They put AZN down to 20 HP and just lost sight of him completely in the tail end of that push. So I respect the efforts, but the focus fire needs to be a bit more there.
Yeah, AZN just doing a good job of sneaking away when so many players were trying to hunt him down. We did see, now we see QB in. He cleans Trum up while everyone was looking at the soldier that was gliding above. He jumped himself out of there. QB runs in, gets Trump. Going to be an uber advantage now for Patchouli, although it's a while before that's going to come up. So the second comes down for Ora Elektro. They're going to put themselves in position to get some
Nobody's seen AZN. Oh no, they've seen him now. Again, another hiding spot. I don't know, man. He just consistently keeps using them. And he's just taking 1 billion damage as well. Just always seems to be on the like different wavelengths when they're doing these like pushes, like non-Uber pushes, or like when they have like 50 ad but don't have Uber pushes. People just seem to be on like different wavelengths. Timing's just a bit off, but that should come with time.
Yeah, the Frenchies now have a 30% Uber advantage. They're building it in River. They're still waiting to get this Uber up. They're going to get all their players buffed up now. Position in the lobby area. Neo and Alien are going to be the 2 players Ubered in. They take out the gun immediately. There's a pyro they have to deal with, and the demo man's still underneath. They're chasing the demo, but he just gets 1 pick onto Rons, but will get cleaned up by Neo as well. Everyone diving onto the point. The heavy is not fast enough to get there in time, and the Frenchies take the first round.
The heavy wasn't even trying to block the point. He came out of the spawn, spun up, and just started shooting at people that were not even going for the point. Not what you need to do as a fat boy. But Uber was very good. Neo saw the easy pick onto Eames because Eames was just sort of showing himself at the back of the water, died instantly, and then both scouts played the point. Really well played from the Frenchies. Moving up. Nice round win, moving into the next mid.
Good fight again. The French is so aggressive onto Eames once more in the choke area. Both soldiers diving him, but they do pick up 2 in the backlines. Now the scouts are trying to get across the point. QB and Neo, but are peppered back as well. Ora absorbing the aggression beautifully. Nice focus fire, and Ames just hitting absolutely everything to pressure the enemies back. They want to continue going forward. One player on the cap as they move through the big door area, but it's allowed Alien Smiley to try and walk in choke, but Joe has picked up QB as that has happened, and Ora to continue to press the issue. They've got the Frenchies caught in a awful situation. They're stuck on the high ground with players coming in from both angles. The Uber does come out earlier for Trump, so Patchouli gets a slightly better Uber. They clean up AZN, and Aura are gonna back up to the mid point, and the Frenchies just gonna touch down. They're gonna get their heels back and check Alien, and Rod's just sitting around. Ora Elektro back on mid, so there's one player down at piece who can settle down.
I do like the initiation that they take on the mids, the Frenchies. They're doing a lot of like a three-man split. It's really, really good setup. Only problem is Duo's going a little bit too aggressive with it. He's behind too soon. And that in turn allows Ora to sort of get a free pick. When they bully Eames out, they just need to be controlling that high ground so that Alien can get over the point to support him, and then that means Ora will not be able to get onto the high ground on the mid, and then the mid sort of secured. But this initiation, the idea that they have is really nice. They have a game plan on this mid. That's the difference between like this map and the last map already.
So the game plan now for Elektro is the sniper class AZN peeking from big door, but they're just going to bust choke off the back of it. The Frenchies, both soldiers coming in towards the medic who's stuck in the big door area. A lot of spam coming down onto Nevo and Abba. They eat a lot, but AZN finds QB, and Alien Smiley's going to want to back out of there as well with 2 players down for the Frenchies there. Haven't got enough players that they want to spam.
Nobody's watching choke now. Nevo's just taking the Uber in for a choke for free and got the high ground. He's got the really good position as well. Forces Neo to make a trade. Alien gets bullied out completely. There's nobody pressuring this flank as well, so AZN's got free sight line if they try to take a fight now. Not a good fight to take if you're the Frenchies. This would be fine to just reset and go back to last. You got bullied out.
Yeah, nicely done. They all the eyes were on that sniper that was just popping heads in the big door area. They capitalised it off the back of it, or Elektro just walking themselves in through choke. No demo, no pocket scout there to defend it, and off the back of it, they're taking second. They're still, even Ubers have still got the sniper up as well, so it's going to be up to the sniper to break this last hold.
Well, what I liked about Ora, hang on, Asian's going for a shock. He's got the angle. Patchouli, I think, is safe, but Alien is not. The point's completely free now. Ron's is going to have to be the one to try and hold it. He does get a trade onto Joe, but the gun's gone down. Lots of pressure coming in now from the flank, and they have a scout on point. He can't get on the point in time. Nevo's in the body block. Nevo's like, the Pyro pulled out the power jack to get the extra movement speed, but the problem was he jumped, and then Nevo's scatter shot had enough back to stun him mid-air, so he couldn't get to the point in time.
So unfortunate for Rons as well. Winning the trade of the soldiers, but as he jumped away from the point, he knew the damage was going to come in. He actually crated, didn't quite find the right jump, and died for it as well, so he couldn't get an arrow and block the point once more. This time we're seeing the Frenchies go up their own side. Joe and Duo gonna fight an MGE battle on the ground, which Duo will win. So now a soldier pick, an Asian weak as well. We're gonna see the Frenchies plough across the point.
What
Duo
a beautiful
picks
ball.
up aim. They continue to want to walk forward, but it's a nice position for Trump and Nevo. They're gonna keep running, but Neo is in position. They're not sure where to exit. The scout Nevo gets cleaned up, and the other scout Neo running in picks up Trump. It's a complete wipe and domination for the Frenchies.
What a fantastic mid. The French soldiers, they did that. That's the science of like a tip-top Prem team there, where they just adapted the mids. Like they did 2 mids, and then they realized to just sort of change it up. So they're keeping Ora guessing. Aura's setup there was to try and counter all the aggression that they did. Neither Duo nor Rons did any bomb. They just did a slow push through the valley, cleared out the valley, baited AZN into doing a really bad bomb, got killed instantly, and then Joe got picked up because of it, and now they're on last trying to hold against this big Uber disadvantage. Take the gun out quickly. Neves is caught on point again, 20 HP, all these players are so weak on point. They might be able to recover, though the Pyro is too strong in this situation. Survived for a bit too long, and they dive too many people on the point as well. Soldier positioning could have played a bit better as well, getting on the ring instead of trying to dive the point. But saving grace, Patchouli lived. Won't get all their spawns from mids, but they will be able to get an Uber for at least holding their own second if it comes to it.
Yeah, Patchouli did live there, but obviously had no one to leave with, so they haven't been able to build up any Uber in that time. It ended up not being, a pivotal factor, as there's going to be a large Uber advantage here for Trump. They're already Aura pressuring themselves into mid. They've completely locked all the players out. They want to keep moving. They're going to have to worry about leave one guy to cap, but they have an Uber advantage. Soldiers hit each other's heads in the air, but they're going to continue moving here. They're already in position. Both scouts moving towards the point now. They're stacking the cap. There's stickies up in this shutter area here, and Patchouli sneaks himself up towards 100%. But Aura can be very happy that they transitioned perfectly, and off the back of it, pressured the Frenchies all the way back to last.
They're initiating a point play already. There's stickies going up on point now, but they've still got 2 in water right now. And Asian, no, he's not going to be able to get the bomb. There is a sentry run blocking him. Runs dies on point though. He never seems to have any support when all these players are going to the point. He just always ends up getting like 1v2'd. And QB gets picked off from the shutter by Nevo. Really well played. Forces the Uber out early. Eames can't get in. Nevo's stuck and baited on the floor. And there's a soldier moving onto point right now. And we have a pause, and lovely.
Yeah, we have a pause in an interesting situation where Nevo did so much work. He somehow found the engineer by just peeking the shutter, despite the sentry gun that was very, very close and could shoot him. But then they take the Uber straight in, pick up the sentry, but find absolutely nothing. So Patchouli could just wait and hold on to the Uber, which he's still holding on to as this pause comes in. So they're going to have 100% here for the side of the Frenchies. I imagine they're aware of the threat of AZN. We certainly see Duo is looking behind. There's some stickies on the point as well here from Eames. So I don't know if they're going to. They're presumably going to commit. We actually seen another scout as well.
If you're Aura here, you definitely try to commit to something, because there's no scouts for the Frenchies, so you don't have to worry about them being able to hard chase you. Like, they don't have to worry about the speed being there for Patchouli to just like turn into Sonic and get on Chum. Chum's very safe. Nevo has like good health to come in with this. Like, there's still good health on all of these Aura players, and Duo's not very healthy right now for a soldier in this position. Even Alien's not. And there's still one down. QB's only just spawning and runs in the spawn.
Yeah, Joe's also in the spawn though for the side of Ora Elektro, so it's effectively a 5v5 in this last.
If you're Aura here, I think what's going to happen is Amarok's just going to try to distract Neo. AZN 9 times out of 10 loses this situation to Duo, as long as Duo is aware of him. It's like you said, I believe he is aware of him, but is he going to turn around for Amarok? I want to say he isn't, but you never know. But there's nothing stopping Eames right now. Eames, if he's got like some ammo loaded, this is like crunch city for Eames. He can absolutely crush the Frenchies in this position.
Yeah, Neo's in a kind of an awkward position on the Pyro where he's had to drop himself into the kind of the center on the low ground as well. He can't really deny Amarok. I mean, he has to commit to deny Amarok if he wants to, and at the moment he can't deny Eames at all. So Eames can walk in. There's just a single sticky on that shutter at the moment. As we do on pause here, Eames just peeking a little bit. Arrow is actually instantly picked up by Alien. AZN going down to Duo as well, so it seems the Frenchies have negotiated that about as well as they could. Nevo is threatening a little bit, but will get cleaned up. So 3 picks for the Frenchies, just the 1 loss of Rons as they move in through the river area in towards second. They have to worry about the soldier Joe potentially going for something. He is going to land on the medic and get the force out there.
Been the reoccurring theme across the 2 maps, that it's just consistently the Aura soldiers being able to land on Trump for free. Not Trump, sorry, landing on Patchouli for free. And this in turn has opened up the doors again for the Aura combo to just be able to make their own way in. Rons wants to try and take this fight. Don't think he got the memo that everybody has gone back to deal with Joe. And this in turn has just given up complete control of the second to Ora, and now Ora have like a full Uber ad to take into the last point.
Yeah, I have to say it's a bit weird for Patchouli to even drop down to the low ground so early until the soldier was out, but Aura are going to press the issue. They're going, jumping in towards the spawn, but Pyro is just going to buff at them back. There's so much cap time out there with no one to block, so everyone was stuck in spawn by the Frenchies, no one underneath the point, so the scout that was rebuffed by the Pyro was just launched onto the point. Cap time comes in super quickly, no one to block, and we're at 2-1 now for Aura.
There was no soldiers. Like, Rons went into Riverside and didn't just stay in a position where he could block the point, went up the Riverside, and then by the time he got back to last, the cap point was already like 90% capped. Horrendous positioning.
Now we move into the fourth mid of this fight. Abba's going to be the first casualty, but Drone trades out for Duo as well. Aura want to get across the point here. Eames coming forward, but a nice bomb in from Rons. Gets a lot of damage now. He's eventually cleaned up. Trump, Eames, Joe, AZ, and everyone's so weak on Aura despite the one pick advantage that they have. They found QB as well, though, who was sneaking around. So they have the numbers, they have the mid fight now, and despite the much better health on the side of the Frenchies, they're going to have to back it up. They're putting some presence onto second here. Soldiers going to try and trade.
Joe's got a free bomb out of Patchouli again! Oh, it's just so consistent. They're just solo soldiers as well. There's nothing spectacular about this. It's just single soldiers. No real support from anyone else. Just landing 2 clean rockets every time.
Yeah, they look very scattered here now. The Frenchies, Uber's coming straight into the shutter. There's a heavy, but he's in the spawn, so he can't do much. Again, no one to block the point at all, and Aura seem to be turning on the style here.
Much better last pushes as well. They seem to be much more clinical. Each person understands their role on these last pushes a little bit more. Like, they're getting the scout on point dead early. Eames is locking out the points as well with the stickies. They're just cleaning up people than they do if they inevitably get to the point. So it's just much better from Aura. Much more stronger gameplay.
This time we're seeing Rons go into the logo and a big high bomb coming in from AZN, but he doesn't come in, just sees Duo. Duo now jumps in, but he jumps into a barrage of people. So many people to shoot him down, and a lot of picks here for Ora Elektro. Despite the low health, they want to continue to press. The QB is going to be picked up as well, and AZN is in the backline to cut Patchouli off. Alien's going to have to find something, but he jumped into Nevo, and Patchouli is actually running around. He's going to have to kill Bind, eventually clean up. I think that was a kill Bind actually eventually, but a clean mid-fight win here for Aura.
Duo literally shouldn't have even gone to mid then. He walked out a big door, hid under the ledge, and then tried to just do a very div 6 bomb into the combo and just died instantly because of it, and Ron's got nothing of it, and this has in turn allowed Aura to get onto last point again with another big Uber ad. Eames is just doing this, just a rinse and repeat where they're just killing all these players that try to block the point. The heavies come out though, got a lot of damage on point, but gets cleaned up again by the people that are on point. Alien's got the respawn as well. 1 versus 2, Chum's coming up from behind the point. They're gonna still go for it, Chum gets 1. Battle of the medics, and that's all she wrote.
Very, very scrappy there. Not exactly perfectly played, but Trump just providing enough of a sneaky personality there, just coming in from the backlines, getting the kill onto the demo van. And Aura, they seem to just have turned it on. They seem to have found some sort of level. As you said, they definitely have a bit more of an idea of what they're doing on these last pushes.
Frenchies just aren't really adapting to anything that's going on though. Like the fact that they're changing up the mids again. Oisin just gets a free bomb onto Patchouli. No one was there to run him up. He timed it so well. And now they're just going to do the Lemmings play. Eames is going to get picked off though. Chum's still 40 health. This is like the near. They can just slow this down. Like you can just class this as a mid win and get your head back in the game. I think Frenchies need to just have a mental reset right now. Cap the point and take it as like a little bit slower. Just reset, see what's going wrong, try and analyze yourselves in game, and then adapt to it. I mean, even if Aura take this mid back, they shouldn't take this mid back for free because they got all their spawns, and these heavy classes are going to come in with no buffs. That's one really good pick. Amarok can get stuck here as well if the focus fire's there. Very good quick picks. They know that this is still holdable if you're Aura though. You've got all your heavy classes. They take the Uber in, but it's missed time. And Eames gets left in no man's land. Gets picked off. But Patchouli goes to Trump.
Trump finds a sniper arrow out of nowhere as Eames is massively overcommitted, but now Trump is going to have to back up into his team. He finds a hero arrow, and Alien Smiley might get caught as well in choke. He does. The pistol of Amma finds him. QB in a hiding position to go for some kind of salvage. It's actually the classic bush spot, but they're moving through the choke area, so it's not a great position for the scout to be. Don't
This is the
think
one
they've seen
hiding
him
spot
yet.
they've not checked. The one hiding spot they've not checked. AZM was checking all the hiding spots in elbow, and no one's looked at it. If they can, because they know Trump doesn't have Uber yet, this is where they should try to do some sort of synchronized play where they can pressure to make space for QB. Because right now QB can't do anything. He's been seen already. Nevo's found him, and oh, he gets traded.
It's
Well
a
played from
miracle
QB.
that he traded there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but now we see Duo is going to be the one guy hiding now behind the rock. The Rons is the soldier in the air that's providing the distraction, but Duo is still in position. He sees the demo man even, and now he finds Trump. Just a nice horizontal rocket forces the Uber out. And Uber coming out now here from the Frenchies, but they're 3 players down. I don't know if they got forced, but they're going to have to try and find some frags. And Alien Smiley's found it. He wants to keep moving. He gets Trump as well. AZN and the other soldier, Joe, in the backlines as well, and a scout. Nevo on the high ground. It's a messy fight. They continue going. Rod hits a nice rocket onto Joe, but is he going to be able to find anything onto Nevo? Nevo capping the second point out, using the advantage that the scout has on the high ground, but Rod's another great rocket.
Oh, that's very fortunate again. That comes down to solo players. Like, Aura's. If you're Ora, you're going to be kicking yourself that you lose this. But at the grand scheme of things, you've just got another pick again because Dwo's going on a chain feed. Alien's almost getting picked off as well because of it. But you've got a lot of cap time as well if you're Ora. You've just got to pick. You don't really need to worry about anything. If you're going to play the mental game, you're going to like make the Frenchies do something because you're 7 minutes left and you're 4-1 up. This is like the perfect time to slow the game down as well. Like,
Yeah.
that Uberad push as well could have gone so much better. The really nice salvage play from Joe and AZN, like post Uber, where they did a super nice double bomb onto the Frenchie combo in the choke. And I think in conjunction with that, Nevo came in and cleaned up a lot of people as well. But Patchouli, them trying to make space, they force AZN, no, Trump. I can't believe that's actually worked. Despite the fact that they lose runs, they can, if they play this smart, they can take this mid really, really well. They should realize all these players on the mid have no heals. Patchouli dropped to the low ground though.
For the Frenchies, they're going to have to back up because their flag hadn't been able to get themselves in at all. We've seen AZN as well. The backline's going to duel with Duo and they trade it. Ames has launched himself in through this choke, knowing that there's no demo man there to stop him. And somehow they come in. Nevo picks up Patchouli. They want to continue moving. They want to keep Trump alive here. Juggles into the air, but there's going to be no finish up from Rod's Alien. Spawning.
What is he doing?
Runs in.
Is he? Man, he's so dense. That's. I understand you have 6 minutes left. You don't do that. What a moron. That's just literally gifting a round away. If Aura were a little bit more proactive there, that could have been a round. It's such a horrendous mistake at Prem level.
Yeah, luckily for the side of the Frenchies, Neo did find a nice snipe. Neo's now found a frag onto AZN as well. 4-man back cap in through lower main, and they're going to continue. They've used the Uber, they flashes it off now. A lot of cap time coming down, but the second cap does come in clutch. So, while they did win the fight on last, there are blue Frenchies moving. They want to continue moving towards the midfight. They're not sure what they want to do. Actually, one takes a nice arrow to continue to take this fight. Trump and Abe stuck in this lobby area, but who is it? Who is it? The ones who stuck? It might actually be the Frenchies who are stuck with their medic Patchouli on the low ground. And Demo Man in such an awkward situation. They've rotated up top here on the side of Ora Elektro. I think they just want to get out of there. But Trump has taken so much damage. He is cleaned up. And it seems Patchouli has negotiated himself along the low ground successfully. And they have 100% Uber advantage to work with.
Joe's managed to get behind. Joe's got the pain train as well. But the mid cap's just as fast as the second point in this. So there's no reason for the Frenchies to worry about coming back. Joe's realised this. Ron's... it's a very risky 1v1 to take here. I don't agree with this, Ron, so I think you just try and take it slow, man. But they're doing the right thing. The Frenchies are doing the right thing and just sort of forcing the issue with all with this Uber ad. and in turn get crushed in the lobby because of it.
Yeah, Alien and
So that's
Patchouli on different wavelengths. They wanted to go really, really deep. They cleaned up Alien, who just went as deep as he possibly could. Patchouli sold him out a little bit, didn't follow him, but he was cleaned up as well. It's very, very easy for the side of War just to pick the players apart as they overextended. They did such a good job of pushing themselves, pressing the issue, moving through the gears onto that second point, but overextended onto last, wanted to take a quick round because of the time pressure and the fact they are the 3 rounds down.
it's just sort of it's just chain feeding now. It's completely over. Like the thing is, the clock is still. If you look at this from a clock point of view, you still. I like the spot QB, well played. If you look at this from the clock point of view, you still have time to make it a draw. Gully Wash rounds, I think, is 50. It's 50 something seconds. I think it might be 55. So, time is not against them, but there's just too much chain feeding going on. And again, another one, that moron got caught out in the lobby again, and now it's just going to be all she wrote because Joe just got a free last point because he's running around the pain train. It's just too easy. They're just gifting it to them.
Yeah, I think
They
it's
may as well
very much
should just
very much
concede
come
at this
over now.
point.
So 5-1 to Ora Elektro. It seems they want to throw the concede in.
Yeah, they
the
did do the
concede does
concede.
come in.
Yeah, that's very good time to do the concede function because I would not want to play the last 4 minutes of this. I'd be very angry if I was in like the Frenchies position right now. They're just so it just started so good and then everyone just went onto different wavelengths. Same issue that they had in Prem qualifiers. Scout and Medic way too disconnected, horrendous positioning from both, never really on the same wavelength, and it just allowed just a Roma with just such I mean, it's going to sound mean, but the bombs were so budget that he was able to, and the fact that he got away with them all the time was ridiculous. No one was paying attention to him. No one just kept thinking to us themselves. This guy is using hiding spots that every Roma should know. Just check the hiding spots, and we should be fine. We can adapt to him and get a free pick every time if we just literally pre-fire a hiding spot, and we'll find him. It'd be so easy. Ron's need See, I don't know if this is Ron's fault or if it's just the team not being in the same wavelength here. Every time they were on the blue second, Ron's was jumping from top onto the top above choke and taking way too much damage, and nobody was supporting him. So I don't know if that's him just trying to be funny and bait people into going for him so he can get air shots, or I don't know if the blue team just have no clear direction of what they want to do on this second hold. Because aliens just a non-factor. Aliens not been a factor most of this game. He's got outplayed by Eames so much. Like just in the demo 1v1s on the mid setup, like process was a write-off. This mid he had a bit more impact, but again it was just not enough. And then the decisions he was making in the last 15 minutes were just horrendous. May as well have just like not had a demo.
Yeah, it was definitely a case of on the one side, Aura certainly stepping up and playing their game, but it seemed that the cohesion that we saw in the first map was pretty impressive from the Frenchies. They weren't really able to pull it off on that second map to anywhere near the same level. And as the pressure came in constantly from Aura, as they kept getting those easy forces with just the single solo bombs from the soldiers, it just seemed to ramp up the pressure onto the Frenchies, and they weren't able to keep up. They weren't able to handle the heat. So moving on, it's going to be a 4-2 win for Aura overall in this fixture after the Golden Cup win on the first map for the Frenchies. So perhaps what we would have expected coming in, based on what we saw Aura finishing second last season and having high expectations, and the Frenchies, they had good moments, particularly on that first map, but weren't able to replicate it on the second map, Gully Wash, whatsoever. And moving on to the season, both these teams presumably will have, hopes at least for playoffs. But the 4-2 win for Aura, salvaging from, a pretty rough first map, doing themselves justice on this Gully Wash map and doing it pretty nicely. Is there anything then you want to shout out or add here, Josh?
Mhm. I think if you're Aura, despite getting the Golden Cap loss, you're still going to be comfortable with that because the process issues are not big issues. It's just literally a bit more direction on last pushes, and it's a bit more proactive in the second points. and that map could become pretty strong for them later in the season. The mids are already there. They just need to work on the other transitional phases for the other 2 points. But the Frenchies, man, they got a lot of work to do. It's not good. Same issues I saw in the preseason qualifiers still coming out a couple of weeks later. Not good. Got a just got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that will take some time of just getting used to each other and playing together. Scrimming a lot will help as well, and hopefully they'll be able to pull themselves together. And yeah, there's certainly some beatable teams in this division, but there's going to be a lot of tough, close fixtures as well. And we have continuation, more fixtures tomorrow here on TFTV. It's going to be Need More Swag versus TCM at the same time as tonight. So make sure you're checking this out. But yeah, thank you for watching tonight. I've been Dave, joined by Josh and Core on production. Thank you very much. Good night.